Hello students, welcome back to the first chapter in the encryption part. We had just started with the introduction to cryptography, and I had told you that this particular topic we will have more than one or two videos. So let us continue with this. In this we are discussing only theory, and we have not yet started with the terminology which is used in cryptography. So in the last video, this was the last slide which tells you what kind of attacks can be happen when we consider internet security. So we had also seen the goals of security were confidentiality, integrity and availability. So how can you disturb these goals? How can you try to disturb these goals, or how you can find out a ways in which these goals can be compromised? So the first two attacks, snooping and traffic analysis, they cater to, or they have a threat to confidentiality. They are treated as a threat to confidentiality. Modification, masquerading, replaying reputation is treated as threat to the integrity, and denial of service is treated as threat to availability. So let us see what does each attack means, or in detail what can happen when these attacks are taking place. So cryptography, you will always find these two people. One is Bob, another is Alice. So which reference book we are using, so that person has always mentioned these two characters. So most of the diagram, most of the example, you will find the reference of Bob and Alice. So when Bob and Alice are using internet and they are sending certain data to each other, or some email, some video chatting is going on. The attack snooping refers to the unauthorized access to or interception of data. So there is a person Darth who is an attacker, or any third party whom these people don't know. So he tries to read the message from Bob to Alice. So he might not do anything with that message, or he might not take any advantage of that particular message, but then he likes to read whatever conversation is going on between your Bob and Alice. So this is your snooping attack. So normally uh, if your parents are reading your mobile messages and then also they are keeping a quiet, that means they are using this snooping attack. Okay, so it is only that this person is not supposed to read, but still he is reading that message. We call it as a snooping effect. Sometimes you don't come to know also that snooping is happening. Traffic analysis refers to obtaining some or the other type of information by monitoring the online traffic. So here what is happening, it is not only interested in messages. He tries to find out the pattern in which you access the data net, the pattern in which you go to your online sites, the pattern in which you talk to a Bob, or in which you send messages. So this information he can provide to somebody, or he may not. See, by monitoring the online traffic, I come to know what are your interests. If I have to find out what kind of a person you are, I will try to find out browsing history of your computer. So that is a traffic analysis. I am interested in finding out what sites you refer, which sites you frequently visit, on every site how much time you spend. So whether it is a shopping site, whether it is a historical site, whether it is a documentary site, so it gives me idea what kind of a person you are, what kind of a character you have. So that is nothing but a traffic analysis. So these two, the snooping as well as traffic analysis, we say that they are threat to the confidentiality of a person, because which site I am visiting, which shopping site I am visiting, what are the things which I have added to a cart, which documentaries I am reading, that is a confidential part. It is my personal matters. So I don't like anybody who will keep a watch on this. Okay, so we say snooping and traffic analysis are threat to the confidentiality. Modification. Now this part is where we say that it is threat to your integrity of the data. As the word says, modification means the attacker intercepts a message and changes it. So intercepts is, I have find out what message you are sending and I am changing it. Okay. So this is called as a modification, and this is where you lose your integrity of the data. So when I am saying that the particular test will be on Monday, so I have not specified which Monday. So when CR is announcing, CR will announce it as the test will be on coming Monday. So this is called as a modification, and it will have lot of changes or lot of effect on a receiver. Repudiation means that the sender of the message might later deny that she had sent the message. The receiver of the message might later deny that he has received a message. So what is the repudiation? What is the meaning of this? When I'm sending you a certain data, for example, I say that the IA, whenever you will have your IA exam, you will be receiving a question bank. Okay, so I have verbally announced, and maybe you had behaved very good, so I have given you this benefit. But then from the higher authority we receive that no circumstances the question bank should be given. So I want to save my face in front of you. So I simply deny that, okay, I have not given any verbal communication, I don't remember it. So there is no way in which you can prove, okay, you don't have any written proof for it. That is a repudiation when I deny that I have sent a message. Receiver, when I have mailed that this coming Monday everybody have to submit their journal, you will have your submissions day, and some people who are attendance defaulter they deny that they have not received the message. Okay, so in the mail they might have deleted a mail. That is a repudiation of a message. So we say that these things are threat to the integrity of the message. You are questioning the integrity of the message. Masquerading happens when the attacker impersonates somebody else. So initially when the Bob and Alice were communicating to each other, Darth has found out what message they send to each other, what is their pattern of sending the message, and he has kept a track at what time the Bob particularly logs in the computer and at what time Alice waits for his messages. And then Darth take the advantage, and one day even if the Bob is not present, Darth will behave as a Bob and the message will be sent to the Alice. So that is what is masquerading. That is also a very you know dangerous attack, that you are behaving as somebody else. You are saying that you are somebody else and you are sending the message to the third person. Replaying means the attacker obtains a copy of a message sent by user and later tries to replay it. So here whenever the Bob is trying to send a message to Alice, the actually he's sending a message to a Darth. Darth, from the start he is reading all your messages. He is trying to find out your online pattern. So what does he do? He keeps the copy of that message to himself, and then he will send that message to Alice. So by at the first look, this might not be dangerous, but if this communication is happening between two lawyers, if this communication is happening between two lawyer and client, if this communication is happening between a doctor and patient, then it is very dangerous. Okay, because I would not like to have my records, I will not like to have my blood test records with a third party. Okay, so this is a one more attack which we say. Now denial of service is a very common attack. It may slow down or totally interrupt the service of a system. So I think I had given you example of a Google. So Google is a search engine. What is the primary job of that Google engine, or what is the primary service provided by a Google? When I type anything, it is supposed to give me a information about that subject. So when I'm saying denial of services, from this morning I'm trying to access a Google servers and it is showing a web page not found, but it is not giving the intended service. If you visit our portal which is supposed to give you all our uploaded PDF and you are not able to access it, it is taking a lot of time. So it is called as a denial of service. So why do people attack? So for example, suppose if we take an example of shopping sites, so Amazon is gaining a lot of popularity. So what does the Flipkart people do? They try to have a login, or they try to visit analog and keep logged in for a longer time. So if you have lot of user on your server, you will not be able to accommodate more users. So there is a limit in which the server can access your request. So it is a denial of service. So you try to attack so that you are not able, the particular system is not able to give the service. So that is a denial of service. So now, whatever attacks we studied, we try to classify them into passive or active. So I hope you remember, passive is I'm not going to change any data. I will just monitor, I will only supervise what is happening with your data, what is happening with your information. That is my passive attack. So snooping and traffic analysis comes under your passive attack. So you snooping is only monitoring, traffic analysis is keeping a pattern on your keeping a watch on a pattern of your online traffic. Then I have this modification, masquerading, deepling and repudiation. That is a active, and it is a threat to the integrity of the data. There is a question on your integrity of the data. Then you have denial of service, which says that service cannot be provided. Also, it is a active data because you are disturbing the said service which normally I provide, and it is a threatening to the availability of the data. Okay, so this denial of service, it might seem very very non-important to you, but if you think of a bank server which is supposed to give me all bank account details, and I should be able to log in whenever I want, and attackers only send a certain foolish request to that bank server and just keeping the bank server busy, then you can imagine how worried I will be. So that denial of service is also very important thing. Same as your repudiation or a masquerade. Now security service, when we have studied the attacks, when we have studied the how they threaten to the different security goals, what ways you can stop this or what ways you can prevent this. So you have to enhance the security of data processing systems and information transfers of an organization. The way your data is processed, does it have any, does your system has a firewall, does your system have a any protected software, any protection software, and when you are working on an organization, does your organization have their own server, whether you are using everything from your organization website. So these all enhance your securities, because when you use your organization web server or you use your organization website, whenever you log it in, whenever you log out, the track has been maintained. So you will be able to always backtrack if something wrong happens. You have to use one or more security mechanism. You just cannot simply rely on one. See, for example, whenever I log into a bank account server, whenever I log into my Gmail drive, so I have a user ID as well as password. So password is my one security mechanism. But with that, the bank also gives me OTP which is associated with my mobile number. So you have to depend on more security mechanism. Often replicates the functions normally associated with physical document. For example, when I say one or more security document, how do you store your all physical document? You will keep it in a plastic cover, you will keep it in a file, you will keep it in a drawer, and then you will lock that drawer, and you will keep the key somewhere safe. So you are using multiple layers of security. Okay, if it is more important, you will keep it in a bank locker, and your locker has two keys. So you go on adding the more and more security level to your documents or your information. So for example, as in you have signature, you have date, if you need a protection from disclosure, tempering or destruction, you notarize it, you have witnesses sign. So you keep everything which is important by adding one more or more layers of security to it. So security services are defined as in your X.800, the security mechanism are called as X.80 and onwards. It is defined as a service provided by a protocol layer of a communicating open system which ensures adequate security of the systems or a data transfer. Now pay attention here. When it is written a service provided by a protocol layer of a communicating open system, that means I'm talking about a network where a OSI model or a similar network model has been implemented, and I'm expecting a security provided by the protocol layer. Okay, so you have to keep a you have to understand this definition more carefully. Read it again. a service provided by a protocol layer of a communicating open system which ensures adequate security of the systems or a data transfer. So I'm saying that network has to have a security service. Network has to find out which protocols offer more security, which protocol offers more protection, and I'm expecting that any network model, any network architecture which I'm using, one of the layer will be giving me a security. What does our RFC 2828 says? It says that a processing or a communication service provided by a system to give a specific kind of protection to a system resources. So here I am talking about a system. Here I am not talking about a network architecture. I am saying that any processing service or any communication service provided by a system. So I can say that service can be provided by third party. The service can be provided by my own organization where I'm keeping all my data. So it can be any system or a service which gives a protection to my system resources. So let's see, we know what are we expected, what do we expect from our information or our data. So how does the security services are provided? So I want my data to be confidential. If I come here, data integrity, so I can say I don't want any change in my data. I don't want my data should be available with somebody. I don't want that whatever I'm posting it now, somebody will keep it with them and they will post that particular data, post that particular information on some other time. So I say this is, you have anti-change. Nobody should be able to change my data. Nobody should be able to have my data and play it later time. Authentication. When I say data has to be authenticated, how do I verify whatever document I have received, it is received from that original said body? So I can use a service of peer entity. I can have a data origin service where it tells me from where the data has been originated, from which server, from which site, with the timestamp on it. Non-repudiation, when we deny that we have sent a message, when we deny that we have received a message. So for when I deny that I have sent you a message, it should have a proof of origin, how I'm claiming that I'm the one who would send that message. See, normally suppose for example, whatever your mark sheets are generated, so how do the people verify that the mark sheet which you are giving is from the Mumbai University? So you will find that watermark has been inserted, a barcode for every seat number has been generated. So that is a proof of origin. Proof of delivery, that when I have sent you a message saying that submission will happen on 15th and this particular time, and you just simply deny. So I should have a proof of that. So if I'm sending you a WhatsApp message, I will have that message and I will have that blue tick also that the message has been delivered. So we have to find out a ways in which these goals can be met, these requirement of information can be met. Then you have access control, we will see that later. What are the different security mechanisms I have? So I have know what are my goal, what I'm expecting from my information source, and then I go for my security mechanism. Security mechanism are the processes, or they are the algorithms, or they are the ways in which you can give a security service. So you have encipherment, that is the encryption, data integrity, digital signature, you can have authentication exchange, you have traffic padding, you have routing control, then you have notarization, and then you have access control. So these are different security mechanisms which will happen. So all these cater to your security goals, all these try to prevent your security attacks, and all these belongs to one or the other security services. So now let us see what are the relation between the security services and mechanism. So your security services data confidentiality. You say that we will be providing a service which will give a data confidentiality to your resources. What kind of a mechanism I can use? What kind of a process I can use? What kind of a algorithm I can use? So you can have, for data confidentiality, you can have encipherment, that is the encryption of the data. You can have routing control, who access your data, which uh, who has information where you have stored your data. That comes under routing control. Then you have data integrity. Again, you can go for an encryption, you can go for a digital signature, you can go for a data integrity algorithm. Authentication, again, you will see that most of the time your problem is solved by encipherment, that is encrypt your data. Nobody should be able to read what has been written. They know that some data has been processed, some data has been passed, some data has been communicated, but they cannot find out, they cannot intercept, not intercept, but they will not be able to find out any useful information from that data. Then go for a digital signature, go for authentication. Authentication exchange is nothing but when my bank sends me a OTP on my mobile, because I have registered that mobile with buy. So when I type the correct OTP, at their end some calculation happens which verifies, yes, this is the mobile number and this is the OTP which was sent. Non-repudiation, you have digital signature. Again, you can use a notarization, and for access control you can only use access control mechanism. So in this particular video, I hope the attacks are very clear to you. If you talk about question paper, university question paper, the attacks mostly they come for 10 marks, this security mechanism services. So whatever we have studied up to this video, and we will be going ahead with the security mechanism, or not security mechanism, but we will go ahead with the model for network security and all. So these questions come for 10 marks, where you have to write a lot of theory. So I hope you can I mean you are quite comfortable, or now you have idea what are the active attack, what are the passive attack, uh, which security goal they target, and it is clear to you what is the meaning of security goals, security attacks, security services, and security mechanism. So I think we will stop here for the moment, and we will study the network model in the next video slides. Thank you.